This is about my man, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. And this is in response to several of your questions, one in particular that I really appreciated from Noreen out here in Santa Monica in Los Angeles, from where I speak to you as we speak. So many questions wanting to know that if this is it for Tom Brady, what has he meant to me and my career, both professionally and personally? Let me launch. I have been rocked and I have been shocked by the very sudden news that Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. just might be calling it quits. It's almost like a death in my family. And I'm here to tell you, I'm having a hard time coming to grips with it, because it was just 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. I spoke to a doctor I know, an orthopedic surgeon I know, who's close with Alex Guerrero, the trainer of Tom Brady, and said doctor told me that for sure Brady is going to play at least one more year. No shock to me. I wouldn't be shocked if he played 5 more years. And then that thing happened on Sunday against those Rams in Tampa. That play happened at the end of that game after Thomas Edward Patrick Brady had brought that team back from 24 down to 27 all. And somehow a blitz was called and no blitz was executed, and Cooper bleeping Kupp happened to Tom Brady. Is that it? Was that the end? I couldn't even fathom until the following day, when the drumbeat mounted that, yeah, he's going to seriously consider calling it a day. What? No, I scoffed. I laughed. Not Tom Brady. Nope, sorry. He'll play at least another year, if not 2, 3, 4, or 5 more years. Then I heard from a source on Monday night, high up in the Buccaneers organization, a source I implicitly trust, who rocked and shocked me by saying, we will be surprised, pleasantly surprised, but surprised nonetheless, if Tom plays next year. What? And then my source amended and said, no, we will be shocked if Tom Brady plays next year. What? You'll be shocked? Impossible. My source said, hey, if he were single, he'd play 5 more years. So it does come down to family. It does come down to wife Giselle, kids. Yep. That and that only. And on Undisputed the next day, I did throw out the maybe long shot possibility that I know Tom has always wanted to finish with the 49ers. He grew up in San Mateo, in the shadow of Candlestick Park, down the 101, maybe 15 minutes from his house. Huge 49er fan, huge Joe Montana fan. So is it a possibility, depending on the fate of the 49ers, that Tom would go one last hurrah in San Francisco? Just please, Giselle, please, honey, let me have one last fling here. Just one farewell to arm, as in that golden right arm of his, with the 49ers. My source is saying no. It's just pretty much over and it's pretty much done. And yet, with Tom, I'm thinking, I greatly admire that maybe it's time to give in to wife, and he's got the 2 kids of their own, and then the one son in New York, previous relationship, Bridget Moynihan. And I don't have to fight that, obviously. And yet he cherishes it. He embraces it. And I'm not arguing with it, obviously. I'm certainly not criticizing or certainly condemning it. I'm just saying, can he be happy going full-time father, husband? I don't know. I couldn't do that. I would ultimately be unhappy as much as that should be done. Would I be able to do it? And what I've always loved about Tom is he shattered every mold. The reason he's meant so much to my career is, number one, I've won so many bets because of Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., the one man in sports I don't bet against. And my favorite quote, you won't know, but it's from a former Supreme Court judge with the fairly odd name of Felix Frankfurter. I think he was a justice from 1939 to 1962. And I have the quote up on the refrigerator door. Anybody who is any good is different from anybody else. I believe that. That's my mantra. Dare to be different. Tom did because he shattered every mold. I've debated in my career so many ex-players, ex-stars, Hall of Famers who just can't buy into Brady because he doesn't look or act the part of a superstar quarterback. Off the field, he comes across as this sort of corny, lame, cliche-ridden dad next door. And he just, the way he carries himself on the field, he just seems above it all to the point that they say, well, he's not really playing football. He's just getting rid of the ball before they can lay hands on him, lay helmets on him. Yeah, but figured it out. He's doing something at a level nobody's ever done it before. And under pressure, all he did was win 6 Super Bowls in New England with 6 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime. And I kept trying to explain to all the people I debate and win bets off of that, hey, he's got an alter ego on the field. It's Psycho Tom. He is Jordan-esque. He goes someplace else during those games. You see him just lose it for a while, scream at people, scream at the referee. Got a 15-yard flag for the first time in his career the other day. Profane language, Sean Hockley. He was right. Brady was right. Von Miller got him up under the chin with his helmet and split his lip. Should have been 15 yards, but it wasn't. But we've seen Brady in the Super Bowl last year go after Honey Badger. Goes crazy. He has competitive rage in him, okay? So there he is. That's that guy. But off the field, not that guy. Ran the ugliest looking 40-yard dash in the history of the combine. Took the weakest looking picture shirtless in the history of the combine. That guy's the greatest player in the history of pro football? Yep, he is. All those guys who debated me cannot fathom that. They can't accept it. We're about to talk about Aaron Rodgers. They say, that guy's transcendent, greatest thrower of the football ever. No, Brady is, actually, because Brady throws the most catchable pass ever and throws it on time to open receivers. Okay, how can you argue with that? Well, they tried, and they have failed. So this seems like a shame to me. I can't buy into the fact that Tom Brady might be gone because it would be a crime against nature. I just fear for him not being happy, not being able to fulfill the rest of his dream. But who am I to say? Because I'm still trying to chase it. He's 44, and I'm the equivalent of 44 in my business to what it is in the NFL. And I'm still chasing, and I don't want him to go because I know he's got 5 great years left. And I want to chronicle those 5 years. I want to feast off them on Undisputed. I tweet this all the time. It's such an honor and a privilege. You get to watch the GOAT at his highest level. He's 44. So kids who are 5 years old right now can say, I watched Tom Brady. You did? Yeah, I saw him live. I watched him on TV. it's a privilege, man. And I don't want it to end. And I fear it's going to end. My gut tells me it's over, and I guess it just has to be over. God bless you, Tom. I'm going to miss you. I hope you enjoyed that video. You ready for more? Make sure you click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from the Skip Bayless Show. And don't forget to check out the full episode of the show wherever you get your podcasts by clicking the link in the description.